going on, everybody? Skywalking with Wetz here, and we are breaking down UFC Freedom 250 UFC card, man. This was an excellent card. It was absolutely crazy. Every fight, out of all the fights, every single fight ended in a finish. With the inclement weather and all those kind of different variables, it ended up working out. And honestly, regardless of political affiliation, who you rock with, who you don't rock with, I thought it was pretty cool. But before we get into any more, I want everybody who is watching this video, please take the time, like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Our YouTube analytics are saying people are watching the videos, they're just not liking, they're not commenting, they're not subscribed. They're saying people search back to my channel to come watch my stuff. At that point, why don't you just subscribe? Also, show love to my Facebook and my Twitter, Skywalking with Wetz. You know what it is, you know the logos, you know what's going on. All right, UFC Freedom 250. All right, my thoughts on this. When I wasn't the biggest fan of it. You know, when it first dropped, I was like, this is weird. They're fighting outside. How is this going to work? Right? Because I remember back in COVID when Dana White was saying we would never, like, he was like, I don't know why people think we're actually fighting on the beach on Fight Island, right? Like, because they had it, like, they'd have face-offs in the octagon on the beach side in Abu Dhabi and all these kinds of things. He was like, we would never fight outside. There's too many different variables and things that can happen, from weather to wind to bugs to condensation, all this different stuff. He would never do it. But then he bends the rules a little bit for President Donald Trump and everything else because, you know, it's obviously the President of the United States and he wants to put this on, but he bent the rules a little bit. So I was like, that's really weird. Dana White's kind of going back on something he said, I know, is maybe 5-6 years ago at this point. But, you know, I was like, I don't know if I like this. How does this work? Like, realistically, how is this going to work? Then they buy this big cloth thing that was made in Philly and shipped down to DC. And so I was leading up to this. I was really, really interested and excited to kind of see how it was going to be. Then you look at this card. We had Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins, Mauricio, is it Ufi? I thought it was Ruffy, but they said Ufi or something on there, versus Michael Chandler, Josh Hokett versus Derek Lewis, Sean O'Malley versus Zabibi, Ayman Zahabi, and Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gong, and Ilya Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. You look at the card and you're like, wow, okay, the card is stacked. A couple of fights didn't really make sense. The Cyril versus Alex Pereira fight didn't really make sense. Neither of them are Americans, but all the other ones, they made sense. There was an American in every other fight. It was time for me to tap in. And for those who tapped into my live reaction stream on Facebook, I appreciate y'all, made it fun and engaging. It seemed like, you know, everyone really enjoyed it. So let's break these fights down. You know, 7 fights and 7 finishes. 7 fights and 7 finishes. Starting with Diego Lopez. You know, featherweight bout, number 2 Diego Lopez versus number 9 Steve Garcia. Diego Lopez wins in the second round by TKO, okay? So we're like, oh my God. Diego Lopez still that guy. Diego Lopez is that guy. I mean, Steve Garcia is that guy too. I'm not gonna lie, but Diego Lopez is that guy. What a way to start out this card, right? Knockout, TKO. And honestly, I don't know how you would expect anything less. I don't know how you would have thought Diego Lopez was gonna lose this fight. Some people thought Steve Garcia was gonna get it done, and I'm not hating on Steve Garcia, but I just know Diego Lopez, in any other era of the UFC, he's probably UFC champion. He's a dog, all right? But then we go to Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins, and I'm just really, like, I'm always on the fence with Bo Nickel. Not that I don't like him. I love Bo Nickel. All my wrestling buddies love Bo Nickel. Obviously, I'm a hooper, but, you know, Bo Nickel, you know, 3-time NCAA champion, 3-time All-American, right? Like, Bo Nickel's that guy. Probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time to come out of Penn State. Anyways, versus Kyle Dawkins cat. Kyle Dawkins, Philly boy. And we're like, okay, like we've seen Bo Nickel lose. People kind of hopped off that Bo Nickel train. So it's like, okay, how Bo Nickel's like 1 or 2 fights removed from that now. But Bo Nickel, TKO of Kyle Dawkins, first round. Right at the end of the first round. Bo Nickel gets a knockout. Okay, now we move on to the next one. Mauricio Rufy. Now I'm all messed up on it. I'm overthinking it at this point. Versus Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, the American, versus Mauricio, the Brazilian. And honestly, I was really pulling for Michael Chandler on this one, man. You hate to see Michael Chandler go out like this, but he gets knocked out at the end of the first round. Rufy, I'm just gonna say Ufi, right? He's a dog. He just looked really dynamic, and he just made Michael Chandler honestly look old and out of place. And I'm happy Michael Chandler got this opportunity, because he's always had the United States on his back, always comes out with the United States flag. You know, obviously a proud American, just the way he talks about his patriotism and things like that. But he got exposed, and it was kind of sad to see. I really wanted Michael Chandler to win that. So that's the first American to lose. Okay, actually, second American to lose. So at this point, Americans obviously are 0-2 versus the foreigners. Obviously, Bo Nickel beat another American, but the Americans are 0-2 against the foreigners. Now we have Josh Hokett versus Derek Lewis. And I'll tell you what, Derek Lewis looked horrible. Derek Lewis looked awful. I was like, Derek Lewis is up there in age. Josh Hokett, you know, he wrestled Bo Nickel in college, which is crazy because Hokett is a heavyweight and Bo Nickel fights at middleweight. But anyways, Hokett did work of Derek Lewis. And historically, Derek Lewis Lewis has struggled with smaller, quicker, more precise heavyweights. But like Derek Lewis looked like he didn't even belong in there. And then here I am, the basketball player, right? Like, I'm not saying Derek Lewis is a wimp or anything like that. Derek Lewis would eat me for lunch, but like he wasn't throwing punches. And when he gets hit, he just starts throwing these haymakers. And Josh Hokett, everyone wants to see Josh Hokett get knocked out. Like I can't tell. He's like has his WWE Mankind character or Dude Love character. Like he has like this WWE character he puts on this persona. He's puking on himself during the weigh-ins, and he's doing all these little rhymes you would see like WWE fighters do. Something different. I mean, we've seen Kobe Covington and his little persona he's put on to sell fights, but this is kind of like that next level of it. But Josh Hokett put work to Derek Lewis, beat him in the second round. Derek Lewis just didn't look good, man. That's probably the worst I've seen Derek Lewis look, and I really like Derek Lewis, and I was pulling for Derek Lewis. So Josh Hokett wins. He said some controversial stuff at the end of his fight. I'm not really with it. I mean, but I guess that's just Josh Hokett. I don't know. We'll see. Someone will put him in his place at some point. But then we get to Sean O'Malley, Montana boy, versus Amin Zahabi. And this was Sugar Sean's like chance. Like he was saying all week, I want to get the KO. It's been a couple years since I got a KO, and boy oh boy did he. And Amin Zahabi, for those who don't know, Canadian, training with GSP. So you would think they'd have a good game plan. He was chopping at O'Malley's knees. He was coming in doing like that 1-2 step and just ripping the inside of O'Malley's calves and thighs. But in second round TKO, Sean O'Malley does what he does. Precision. He's a sniper. O'Malley is a sniper. And he does work of Zahabi, and he goes, I don't remember what it was. He hits him. Zahabi kind of catches himself, falls over, gets up, and then O'Malley hits him again. Zahabi goes down. He goes straight into a salute. It was crazy. It happened so fast. But he said he manifested that moment. And Sean O'Malley, Montana boy, gets the dub over Amin Zahabi. So we're like, okay, we are 5 for 5 on our fights. We are 5 for 5, all knockouts, all TKOs. Like it was absolutely crazy. Now we get Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane, and I was saying even with the O'Malley fight, because he's obviously a Montana boy, we always gotta root for our Montana fellas, right? I just get nervous, but I like Cyril Gane and I like Alex Pereira, and just watching two fighters I really like, to where I'm not really rooting against one or the other. I just get nervous because I don't want to see either of these guys go out. Like in a perfect world, they have a great fight and it goes to a decision, and I'm happy with whoever wins. But like I don't want to see either of these guys get knocked out. Alex Pereira looking for his third undisputed UFC title, the interim title. Winner is probably going to fight Tom Aspinall here soon if Eddie Hearn lets Tom Aspinall fight. Cyril Gane, this is his third title shot, I think. He had a title shot against, fourth title shot, actually, if you think about it. He had the title shot against Francis Ngannou. Then he had another one against John Jones. Lost against Ngannou, lost against John Jones. Then he had another one against Tom Aspinall, but then Tom Aspinall got poked in the eye, right? So that went to a no decision, right? And then here he is again, fighting, fourth time for an undisputed title against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira has gone, I believe it's middleweight, light heavyweight, and then now heavyweight. And no, not middleweight. Middleweight. And then now here we are, fighting for the potential third UFC title, something no one has done before. So he's not a natural heavyweight. He's a big guy in general. You're going against a natural heavyweight and just great athlete in Cyril Gane. And I was really conflicted on this one going in. I picked Cyril, and not a lot of people really agreed with me. And this is one of those ones that I don't really want to rub in, because Alex Pereira is my guy. I love Alex Pereira, but I just thought Cyril Gane, just a better athlete. He does exactly what Alex Pereira does, but I think he's more, his striking's more diverse. His striking's more technical. His striking's more, he's just quicker, faster, right? He does everything Alex Pereira does, but I think faster and better, especially for heavyweight. He moves like a lightweight. Like Cyril Gane is just a pure athlete and former basketball player, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I was really nervous for this fight. And as the fight went on, first round, just kind of feeling each other out, it seemed like Cyril was getting home a little bit. He caught Alex a couple times. You saw Alex, like he was walking Cyril down, but Cyril, just the way he bounces around, he gets out, circles back. Then he started touching Alex with his jabs. And then, in that second round, man, he caught Alex and put Alex, he didn't put his lights out, but he TKO'd him. And it was tough to see. But I respect Cyril. He's a good sport, great sportsmanship. Showed his respect to Alex Pereira. And I like what Alex Pereira said. He said, we knew this was the threat coming in. Like, we knew that this was a possibility because of how good Cyril Gane is. So now we're going to see Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall. And I'm going to go Cyril Gane, dude. And I saw John Jones come out and he was like, no one one wants to see Jon Jones fight for a UFC title ever again. So let's just not talk about that. Like, let's end our Jon Jones discussions, all right? I want to see Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall for the undisputed heavyweight title. I hope Tom's eye's okay. I think Ciryl Gane wins that fight against Tom Aspinall in the rematch. But for the last fight of the night, Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. What a fight. Ilia Topuria, essentially the boogeyman of the UFC for the lightweight division. And I would say, what is it, the featherweight division? No, not featherweight. Lightweight. Yeah, featherweight division. You know, he's knocked out Max Holloway. He's knocked out Charles Oliveira. He's knocked out Alexander Volkanovski. And I'm not saying, like, knocked out. But when he put Charles and Volk out, like, those guys went out. Like, out cold. Didn't know where they were. And then you have a guy like Justin Gaethje, who just beat Paddy Pimblett for the interim title and made Paddy look stupid, right? And Justin Gaethje's a guy who 2 years ago got put out cold against Max Holloway in the last 10 seconds of that 5-round fight for the baddest MFer title in the world, the BMF title. But ever since then, I mean, Justin Gaethje's always been the guy who's been this close. He lost to Dustin Poirier for an interim title. He lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov when he had the undisputed title, for the undisputed title, I should say. He lost to Islam Makhachev, and he lost the BMF title to Max Holloway. But he's beat guys like, well, he also lost for the undisputed title against Charles Oliveira. Like, all the people Justin Gaethje have lost to have been for title fights, essentially. Actually, I don't know if he lost to Dustin Poirier, but he knocked out Dustin Poirier. But then he's beaten Dustin Poirier. He's beaten all these other guys. Like, but he finally has his shot, and you think this is Justin Gaethje's last shot for undisputed gold, but it's going against Ilia Topuria because Justin Gaethje gets hit. He causes car wrecks, and he says it. He says he causes car wrecks where they're both going in there in the pocket, just throwing. And it's like, this isn't good, because what Ilia Topuria does best, he has the right hook, right hand from God, left hand from God, whatever hand it is, it doesn't matter. He puts people out cold. And so in my head, I'm like, this isn't going to end well for Justin Gaethje, because we know Justin Gaethje gets hit. We know he gets hit. And so when this fight comes on, I want Justin Gaethje to win. It's not that I don't like Ilia Topuria, but I feel like Ilia Topuria, you got to go with the American for one, but then I just feel like Ilia Topuria is so good that, like, Justin Gaethje essentially has no shot. But I'm going for Justin. Like, I want to see him. I wouldn't put it out of the potential that, like, put out possibility that he won't retire. I don't know if he'll even defend his belt. I hope he just retires on top and just golfs for the rest of his life. But anyways, but as this fight goes on, the first round, I'm like, oh my God, Justin Gaethje won the first round. He caught Topuria with the jab, and I think it's Topuria's right eye. He started protecting it, then you look at it, and he's bleeding there. And from there, it just seems like it was an onslaught. Gaethje wins round 1, 2. I would give round 3 to Topuria. He turned it on, but barely. His eyes are swelling shut, and then round 4, like, Gaethje's just piecing this guy up. Topuria's eyes are shut, maybe an orbital fracture. And then coming out of the 4th, going into the 5th round, Topuria's corner calls it. And Justin Gaethje is our undisputed lightweight champion of the world, finally. Undisputed. Justin Gaethje did something not a lot of people thought, and did something that we were all hoping he would do. And being an undisputed champion, something Dustin Poirier hasn't done. You know, and Dustin Poirier was another guy who feel like is in that realm with Justin Gaethje. He was just like so good his whole career, always right there, just not good enough. But Gaethje finally got it done, and one of the greatest upsets maybe in UFC history. But I think, you know, with everything in Ilia Topuria's personal life and all that kind of stuff, definitely could play a role. But I think Ilia Topuria is going to be back better than ever. I mean, this is only a small bump for Ilia Topuria. And if him and Justin Gaethje have a rematch, I probably would say Ilia's the favorite. But I hope Justin Gaethje just retires and rides off into the sunset. No need to defend the belt, dude. Just ride off into the sunset. So overall, before I get out of here, UFC Freedom 250, 7 fights, 7 TKOs, right? 7 just great. Like, I think the experience was great. Like, we can, like, if you want to look really deep into it and be like, oh, Donald Trump, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I think we could all still appreciate the work that was put into that and the experience that was made for those who serve in our military, who have served for our military. It was cool to see the fighters walk out with Medal of Honor guys, Medal of Honor soldiers, active duty soldiers, sergeants, all just like people from the Korean War to whatever it may be. Like, it was cool. And then you look in the crowd and it's service members, and it seemed like a great experience to honor America at Freedom 250. It was also, I think, Trump's birthday. I don't know. But it seemed like the broadcast didn't even really make it all about Trump. It made it more about being an American, being proud to be in this country, being proud to have the freedoms that we do. I know we have our problems, we have our issues within society. What society doesn't, right? But at the end of the day, Americans, we're all in this together, and I think that's what it was really about. There's been a lot of people, regardless regardless of political views and whatever you say, whatever side of the fence, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of people who put their life on the line to give us the freedoms and give us the rights that we have, whether it was 250 years ago or if it's in current day today. And I think that's like the big message that I took away from it. If you look too deep into it and you want to twist things up, that's on you, man. But I thought it was a great experience. I thought it was cool, and it was really cool to see the Justin Gaethjes, the O'Malleys, you know, beating the foreigners on the White House lawn, and Justin Gaethje having one of the greatest upsets in UFC history on the White House lawn and being an American. It was pretty dang cool. So I really liked it. It was awesome. Let me know what you guys think about it. You know, we'll probably never see something like it again, at least like an outside event. It almost didn't happen, different weather and things like that, but it was great. I enjoyed it. Now Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Maybe I'll drop a video on that. Skywalker, Wetz, appreciate y'all. Thank you.